Just over a week ago, Rockstar teased us with a very little hint to the future content coming to Red Dead. The post was about the record-breaking year for both GTA and Red Dead Redemption 2, but at the bottom of this newswire, Rockstar teased us about future updates coming to Red Dead Online. It said, "Stay tuned for more news on exciting future updates to both games coming this year, including new employment opportunities for solo players in Red Dead Online." And this got many players questioning, what does including new employment opportunities for solo players actually mean? Well, today the weekly update dropped and we got new missions for solo players. So in this video, we are going to be going through absolutely everything. Before I get into the new Telegram missions that have been added to Red Dead, if you do want to see some slightly different content, maybe come away from all the different news and updates and look more towards entertainment, then I have put together a completely new channel. This channel is all about playing a variety of different games, which does include Red Dead, but we've also played GTA, Call of Duty Cold War, and there'll be so many more in the future. So if this is of any interest to you, you can find a link to that in the description down below. Getting back into the video, Rockstar added new employment opportunities for solo players. There are so far a total of 3 separate missions which you can participate in, and it is likely we'll get more solo missions in the future very similar to this, because they are not crazy long, they don't have any cinematics, but it is very easy content for Rockstar to produce to give players a couple hours of game time. These missions are pretty much stranger missions, but as part of a solo lobby. Now I want to start off by saying that this is not a major update, so it does mean that if you log into Red Dead Online, there's not a gold symbol to tell you where to go or what to do. If you didn't know that Telegram missions are now part of the game by either following the Rockstar newswire or other accounts that are dedicated to Red Dead Online news, you simply would never know they were part of the game. So here's what you need to do to unlock them. You either need to go over to the post office or your camp lockbox. In there, you'll find a letter that says a new source of employment. And as this is new content, the letter will be near the top. So if you have a lot of items like me, you won't have to scroll all the way through them. After collecting this from the post office or your camp lockbox, you would need to go into your satchel and select the Telegram's document. Now I don't know if there is an easier way to get these missions, but so far what I've been doing is going into my satchel, going across the documents, and originally I did think this would be under letters. Whenever we get new content and we get a letter, we need to go and read it first to unlock that content. And normally it is under letters, but this time it's not. It's got its own separate category under telegrams, and this can be found right at the bottom of the documents page. By selecting this, you will open up 3 solo missions. You have Outrider, a 1-horse deal, and Rich Pickings. Each one of these will take anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes to complete the mission, and this all depends on your skill and ability of the game. If you have been playing for quite a while, this can be done in a matter of minutes. For the solo mission called Outrider, with this, all you need to do is escort a wagon from Henniganstead to Blackwater. You can either ride on your horse or sit on the wagon. The rest is just about killing enemies. This is all you have to do for this mission. The mission called a 1-horse deal, with this you need to steal a horse from Emerald Ranch. The good thing with this one, and probably my favorite one out of the 3 so far, is that you can do this one stealthily, but also you can finally use the mechanic that has been part of the game since day 1. Players have always wanted to break a horse, but unfortunately there's no real reason to do so. You can already do it with wild horses, but if you did do it, you can't keep that horse, so what would be the point? With this one, you need to go over to Emerald Ranch, you may have to kill a few enemies, and then you need to jump on the back of the White Arabian. This White Arabian will try to buck you off, but this is where you need to break in the horse. You have to use your left analog stick and hold down, unless it is trying to steer left or right, in which you need to go in the opposite direction. One thing that the notification does not tell you on the top left is that you also need to go and press X or square depending on which console you're on to calm the horse down. So whilst also focusing on the horse to see in which way it steers so you know which way to aim your analog, you also need to be aware on the bottom right whenever it tells you to calm the horse down, and that is when you need to go and press X or square. As soon as you break in the horse, that's when you need to take it over to the location, and there you go, the mission is complete. Another very easy mission. And finally we have Rich Pickings. This is another one that you can do stealthily. You must go over to the mayor's house in Saint Denis, steal some valuables. You will need to go from one room to another, stealing everything that you can get. And when you do finally pick up all the valuables, you need to go and take them back to Josiah. Now, for a lot of you players that want to be getting into these missions, you may want to be going through these very quickly. Unfortunately, there is a cooldown, a 23-minute cooldown after completing a mission. You must wait for this time to pass before going into another mission, but this does mean that if you're wanting to play through these missions this week, it will take you 10 minutes to play through each mission, plus 23 minutes cooldown after each one of these missions. You're looking at this taking anywhere between 1 to 2 hours, and this is just to complete them on standard. Because as briefly mentioned before, every time you go through one of these missions, the next time you go into it after, it will increase in difficulty. This will mean that enemies are tougher, they have more health, they deal more damage, and a mission is just slightly harder. For the mission of a one-horse deal and also rich pickings, I do highly recommend that you go through this stealthily. For the first playthrough when playing through standard, this is incredibly easy to do whatever you want. But once it does get to hard, and then finally once it does get to ruthless, that's when things become very, very tricky. Because a lot in the NPCs, more guards will come in, more enemies will try to kill you, they're tougher, they're stronger, they deal more damage, it will also require you to have a lot more health cures. Everything becomes 1,000 times harder. Whereas if you go stealthy, you may only just need to kill 1 or 2 people and then you're just out of there. Because with this, it doesn't matter how difficult the enemies are and how much damage they deal, because you're only killing 2, they don't know you're there, and then you are out of there, mission complete. It's also worth noticing that once you do get this to the difficulty of Ruthless, that also becomes free aim. If you're not too good with Red Dead, well, this becomes very, very difficult. So by going through the missions that you can do stealthily, it just makes life so much easier. Pull out the bow and arrow and use that to kill off the enemies that you have to kill. Everything else, just ignore, go for the objective, and there you go, mission is completed. What makes this even more difficult is the amount of lives that you have. If you fail this, that's the mission done. You restart back from the previous checkpoint, or you have to restart the mission from the beginning. With standard, this becomes very, very easy because you shouldn't really be dying here, but once you get to hard and ruthless, because it does become so much more tricky with the enemies having increased damage and also increased health, and then for it to also become free aim, that's when things become extremely difficult. And if you do die, it's not just a case of you having to restart, it also lowers the payout. Now, as said at the beginning of this video, these missions are very similar to the Stranger missions, except they do actually have a much better payout. For you completing them on standard without dying, you're looking at anywhere between $14 to $21. This also equates to around about 16 gold nuggets to 24 gold nuggets, and you can expect anywhere between 200 to 300 XP. Moving up to the hard difficulty without dying, you're looking at around $30 this time, so near enough doubling the payout for some of the missions. You're looking at 32 gold nuggets, and you're looking around about 450 XP. Now, as for the rewards for Ruthless without dying, I can't actually give you because I have only played through one mission and I have died. But when playing through that mission, and even though I did die, I still got $32.32, I got 24 gold nuggets, and I got 482 XP. Once you complete a mission on Ruthless, it does just stay at Ruthless. Whenever you go into the end, that is the set difficulty, and it doesn't look like you can go down in difficulty or increase it. You must complete the mission on standard to then unlock it for hard. Once you complete that on hard, that's when you unlock Ruthless. Once you complete it on Ruthless, well, it stays at Ruthless forever. With this though, it does mean if you're looking to grind money, gold, or XP, then this probably isn't the best way of going to get it. These are better versions of Stranger missions, but also done in solo. They give out very, very decent money, gold, and XP once you get to Ruthless, but for the difficulty and how much time you're putting into them, it's better spent elsewhere. These are still very, very fun missions to go through. I always recommend whenever there's new content, no matter what it is, definitely give it a try, because you might be someone that does enjoy this. This does give you a break from all the content that we've been dealing with for quite a long time. This isn't going to be content that's going to be so addictive that you're only going to be wanting to play this for the next couple of weeks. It is only just 3 missions as of right now, which will give you a couple hours of enjoyment. And I'm hoping that Rockstar add a few more of these missions in the next couple of weeks, because we do know that there are voices which Rockstar guides found back on December the 1st. And originally we all thought that this was going to be a young Seth Bryce, but in fact, this is just Josiah. We know that there is over 300 different lines from Josiah, and so far we've only experienced a few. So maybe there is a few more missions in the background which will be released over the next couple of weeks. If not, I'm still expecting there to be a lot more of these missions in the future, whether they're part of weekly updates or even just a few missions that we get part of major updates, just because of how easy they are to put together. But anyway, this is absolutely everything to do with the new Telegram missions. Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. Is this something that you would like to see Rockstar expand on by giving more missions which are just for the solo players? Or would you much rather just have these as part of the Stranger missions? As they are very, very similar. It's just with these you can't play with your friends. If you want to see any more content from me, I have put together a completely new channel which is less about news, tips and tricks for Red Dead Online and more about just having a laugh. If you do want to see any of that, then there is a link in the description down below. But anyway guys, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. But for now, I'm going. So see ya.